you had shared a little bit of snippets of your personal interactions with Dana White, or things that Dana had told you on The Ultimate Fighter. And one thing about Dana White is that I really respect what he's done for the world of MMA. I really respect, obviously, put the UFC on the map with the Fertitta brothers. I really respect the fact that he's a person that stands up for what he believes in, despite, regardless of what everybody else thinks. I don't want to get into politics, but it's one of those things like, he remembers the people that looked out for him, and he honors his friendship, and he can't be bought and sold by, the other companies or anything like that. And he stands on his morals and his principles. And anytime I've never met him, but just seeing interviews and just seeing his interactions, I have the utmost respect for him, for him willing to take on whoever and stands his ground. That's got to be such an awesome boss, right?
One of the greatest mentors of my life, absolutely. And just, I know that some people, they think a certain way about Dana, and they have no idea. Like, this man has done nothing but help me from the very beginning. I mean, I remember when I very first met him, I walked right up to him and I said, "My name's Julianna Peña, and I'm going to be the Ultimate Fighter winner." And this was before they started the auditions. And he's like, "Get this crazy lady away from me." But after that, when I did win, he would just always give me advice. But more so than that, I've been in trouble. I got jumped on the street, and I ended up kicking a bouncer in the lower region, groin area, and I got arrested. And Dana bailed me out and got me out of jail and got it expunged off of my record. When I tore 4 out of 5 ligaments in my knee, Dana flew me to LA and had me get worked on by Dr. Kavitny, who worked on Kobe Bryant, George St. Pierre, John Jones, all of the LA Lakers. I mean, the best doctor in the world for knee reconstruction. And he did a great job. Put me up in the Westin Hotel, free room service, massages, whatever I needed, he took care of. Just recently, I went to Manchester, and I had paid for my daughter's flight. And when I got to Manchester about 3 hours before the show, they called me and said that I wasn't able to go to the event because my daughter wasn't over 18. I said, "Well, did you want to think about that before you had me as your special guest? And before you booked the flights, you knew that I was coming, you knew that I was going to be here. Like, I can't believe that you guys are going to tell me 3 hours before the event that we can't go. This is ridiculous." So Dana called and he said, "I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. It's a law. They won't allow people under 18 in the venue. But I will give you a VIP account to Fight Pass so that you can watch the fights. And I will cover the entire cost that it took you to bring your daughter here." And so they paid me, reimbursed me back for all the travel. And then at the end of it, they were like, "Dana set something up for you so that you can come to the fight and watch Bilal. And your daughter will just have to stay in the back." And they're like, "And we'll just like give her snacks, and they did. There was like 3 of the PR guys, and they were like, they're her babysitters, checking in with me every 10 minutes. They escorted me to my seat. I go, "Well, wait a second. I don't want to come to the event if it means that I'm not going to get reimbursed anymore. I'll just watch it from the hotel room." "No, we'll still reimburse you. So I was like, "All right, we're coming." But the event started at like 6 o'clock, or like didn't go on until 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like shaking her awake, like, "It's 3 o'clock. He changed his mind. Let's go." But like, I have to say that like Dana has always helped me. He has always bailed me out. He's always been somebody that, there's not a lot of people where it's like you got millionaires' phone numbers in your phone. You can call them up at the drop of a hat and they're going to answer the phone, He's that person. If I needed anything ever, he would help me, and he always has. And so he's just always had my utmost respect. He's just the best boss in the world, really, truly.
We talked about adversities that he'd overcome with you. Dana's gone through a lot of hardships that he's had to overcome as well. Even when he was in Boston, he was dealing with some serious guys that were, looking for him at one point before he went out to Vegas. He's just had a lot of crazy things happen to him, and he built. The UFC was nothing when he got it, and he built it up to the best sport in the world that now everybody can enjoy. Like I said, Ross and I have been watching this since we were little kids.
Yeah.
I mean, before people knew about it, but Dana and the Fertitta brothers have built it to where now the rest of the world can enjoy the sport that we love so much. It's awesome to see how it's evolved. Just his grind and his work ethic, and just his, he talks about how he doesn't sleep that much because he's always on the grind. And for him to, like you said, he'll always answer your call. Like there is a ton of other fighters too that he's probably got to deal with. Not to mention he's working with Full Send and the Nelk boys and all that. That's a whole nother thing. All the stuff he's got going on. He always finds the time for people.
And he makes you feel like you're heard in that moment. He's not going to rush you. He's very I don't know. I can just say that everybody's always showing him their best face. Everyone's always showing him their golden, and everyone always wants something from him. And so it's almost like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you know what I mean? It's not him saying, what do you want? But it's like somebody's always wanting his time, his attention, his money, his something. And so he does it so well. I feel like he's the most popular person in the world, and everyone always wants something from him. But when you get to that point, he makes you feel heard and understood, and then he'll take care of it. It's like whatever it is, he'll have a solution for you some way or the other. And he always makes sure that you're taken care of. And I think that that's one of those things where it's like, this man is incredible. He's just always so genuine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even I don't want to get too far into it, but he even said, I listened to this conversation he had. He said, I'm not shutting down the UFC. I've got a ton of employees that I'm taking care of. And he refused to let down the people that worked for him.
Yeah, and you know what he did? And he bought an island, Yaz Island, and I fought there twice. And it's like I was able to work and make money while everybody else had to, stay at home. And so it was one of those things where us as fighters were like, we loved you before, we love you even more now, but this is why you're the man. You know what I mean? Is making sure that we can provide for our families too as fighters. And so it was just, again, that's just another testament to who he is. He just makes things happen. And the UFC makes things happen all the time.
Right.
They're just a company that just makes things happen. I feel like they have that ability because they're not like a regular Fortune 500 company where, you can't say that or you're going to go to human resources. You know what I mean? It's like they do what they want because it's fist fighting. Yeah. This is my dog and he really wants to play.
Awesome.
Yeah. He wants to play.
Is there any other, can you give us just real quick, one other personal interaction with him, something that you, just a cool story about just you and him, conversation you guys had or some sort of interaction?
Yeah, I'll give you two. One time after I won the Ultimate Fighter, he wanted to meet with me before I left to back to Spokane. And when I got there, I could give you three. I could give you four. When I got there, I was more hungover than I've ever been in my entire life because I was partying with Nick Diaz.
Oh man!
Yeah, at Dre's in the club till 6 o'clock in the morning. I mean, when this was before Dre's had moved, and so when we got out of the club, the sun was rising. And I just remember having the best night of my life. I'm with Nick Diaz. I just won the Ultimate Fighter. I'm drunk. I'm so drunk. I think I went to bed for 1 hour before I had to go meet him before our flight. When I got there, I was so hungover and I couldn't even like pick my head up off the table. And he was like, "You had fun last night?" And I was like, yeah. And he was like, "That's good. I just wanted to let you know, I'm very proud of you. I'm very happy for you. You crazy little girl. You came up to me and told me you were going to win the Ultimate Fighter and now you did." And he's like, "I'm very happy for you." And he's like, I was like, I still couldn't pick my head up. And he was like, "Hang on." He's like, "She wants get her the Cadillac margarita." I'm like, "No, I never want to see alcohol ever again. Like never, I'm never drinking again." And he's like, no, trust me. He's like, "A hair of the dog. You need to take it." And so I was like, "Okay." And so I drank it and it was like Popeye. I was like, dude. Like I was ready. I was like, "This is the best margarita I ever had." And so I was like, my coach nudged me. He's like, "We gotta go." I'm like, we gotta go. We barely made our flight, right? We barely made it. And so years went by and I went back to that same restaurant and I said, "I'll take the Cadillac margarita that Dana had here, 5 years ago, and I'm like, "Yeah, the one that you guys make, it's like the one that you make with Dana White." And they're like, okay. So they leave and they come back and they're like, ma'am, we just wanted to like triple check with you. Like, we will make you that margarita, but it's $1,000. And I was like, what?
What are they putting in it?
What are you putting in it? Yeah, it was like gold, real gold, like gold flakes or whatever. And just obviously probably because it's Dana White, they're going to mark it up. You know what I mean? And so $1,000, the margarita. And I was like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. There was another time that I went to Las Vegas and he wasn't having dinner. He just stopped by. And when he got there, he was like, hey, just stop by to say hi. And of course, we didn't take a bite. And he was like, I'm not going. He goes, I'm going to leave because I know how girls are. Like around guys, like they don't eat any food. He's like, you take like a bite of a salad and you're like, I'm full. He's like, so I'm going to go. He was like, but you guys have a good rest of the dinner. And I was like, okay, nice to see you, Dana. And I look like a big shot. I'm like, Dana. And when he left, the server came out and he had this cart of desserts. And we're like, ooh, which one are we going to get? And he's like, they're all yours. And so he put like this table of like 20, like maybe like 9 desserts, you know, but they're all like rich and nice and beautiful. And he gave us all the desserts. And then like when the bill came, the bill never came. It was like Dana took care of it, you know? So he took care of the bill for us. And like, we weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
And so it was just like awesome. You know what I mean? He's always been very awesome like that. And then last quick one. After I won The Ultimate Fighter, he told me that his favorite movie of all time was filmed in Spokane. It's called Vision Quest.
Oh,
it's a wrestling movie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it was filmed in my hometown. And so he said that he wanted to come to Spokane to like check out Spokane and go to all the places that were in the movie. And so he did. He flew to Spokane and we had a fight show that night. And so we're like, Dana, come to this fight show. And so he was going to come. And I don't know if like the casino made him mad or if we didn't give him the welcoming that he expected. I don't know. His friend Skip got food poisoning from the fat burger, they said, or the something burger in the hotel. And he got sick, so they had to go back and leave. And so I remember he didn't come to the fight show the next night. And everyone was so disappointed because they thought that they were going to see and meet Dana White. And they all thought that it was my fault. Like, they're like, what did you do? What did you say? And so like I ruined everybody's chance to meet Dana, but he did come there and I did show him around Spokane. And so that was really cool. And I think he like flipped me like a chip for like, I don't know, like 10 grand or something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like take the chip. Me and Mike Chiesa were there and he gave us both a chip and we're like, see ya.
It's the coolest boss ever then.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's like the type of guy where he'll go to the casino and you'll be with him. And then when he goes to cash out, he's got a backpack full of money and we all line up like we're in first grade and 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand. And he just pays you out and gives you the money, you know, and you're like, sweet, pleasure doing business with you, sir. Have a nice night. So he's always just been awesome.